Welcome back. Welcome back to the Detroit is Different podcast studio. And in the studio is somebody part of the family, where the family has extended, and it actually was extending a while ago. But this is like, I don't know what type of family we got here at Detroit is Different. It's a black family. It's an extension of the black family. Y'all already know. It's like we that family reunion where we don't even know what cousin is showing up, right? So the origins of so many people that have been a part of the Detroit is Different family definitely go to Piper Carter. Shout out Piper. But Piper, a cousin that ain't showing up. You know what I'm saying? But she is showing up sometimes in events and things like that. Also, y'all know Josh Adams. Josh Adams is like the cousin that done relocated. Still family. We love Josh. We love Josh over here. Who keep going. The new kids is still going. New kids still doing their thing. And definitely, almost holding it down like Big Cuz. Rocky's reality is keeping everything going. And so many great informations and interviews. And when you talk about Rocky's reality, I want to say probably like the last time she was here, another one of them cousins that be in and out of both sides of town and everything is T.Barb, comedian T.Barb. How are you?
What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? Honored to be a part of the Detroit is Different family. And I would like to think of myself as the cool auntie.
The cool auntie.
Yes.
Hilarious.
The one that everybody want to hang with, the nephew friends trying to talk to,
The auntie that's sneaking cousins liquor.
The auntie
Sneaking cousins liquor.
to get the cousins a little shot of liquor or something.
Bad bottom shelf, Cisco.
Yes, I'm that auntie. Let you take the car to the store.
Take the car to the store.
Bring it back. Don't
even
use
the car.
up all my gas.
A note.
Type-ish.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So right now, T.Barb is, if y'all ain't following, so many things. Like, definitely online having a heck of a presence. Helped out with Collard Green Cook-Off.
Yes.
As always, and the reach of getting people to Collard Green Cook-Off. And also connected to really real family. Your son, Mr. Hobson.
Yes,
Reggie.
My son works here at Detroit is Different. So Thank you for employing young black men.
I know.
We appreciate that. And so, one thing, like you say about family is we're interconnected in so many different ways. I've had a podcast here, the Retired Hood Rat podcast. You did an audio album. You helped me out with that. T.Barb Live at the Independent, which is streaming on all platforms. We did a comedy song, Scoochie on the Coochie, which is also streaming. People think that's a joke, but that's a real song.
Yeah, shout out to
download that now.
Shout out to Drummer B. Drummer B doing his thing.
Drummer B. And so we've been all around and up through town. So that's how it goes. Detroit is different.
Yep. And you welcome all types of guests in here. Like, man.
I've had everybody. We've had Diesel in here. We had Alfonso Settles.
Yep.
We've had Renika McQueen Eccles. So we've had some of Detroit. So a lot of comedians. We've had Slink Johnson in here. We've had quite a few people have come on.
Yeah.
We've had a good time.
Yep. And that same creativity is oozing over right now to television series.
Yes, it is, to Tubi right now. So right now I have a series out and it's called Only in My Hood. A lot of people know me from the Only in Detroit, the What Up, Though? What Up, Though? What Up, Though? So they love all of that. So that's been transitioned. It's my first time as an executive producer. So I'm very excited about that because not only am I hosting the show Only in My Hood, which is streaming now on Tubi, I also am the co-executive producer with Producer Bay. They say black women, 2 black women linked up. The whole crew that taped it, all female crew that taped it, 6 episodes. It's super hilarious. We have some of everybody on there from Comic J. Will. We have Swifty McVeigh of D12, Ryan Patrick Cooper, Ann Duke, Melanie Hearn, Daddy Speed, who is the legendary iShow Speed, the viral one and only. His dad is in episode 6. We have comedian Judge Miles D. Jones. I mean, just so many different talented. My co-host, Bunny Mae, super. Everybody think we looks alike, okay? Everybody do, but my daddy was out here, so I don't know. I do not know, but Bunny Mae is the co-host. It's streaming now. I'm super proud of it. It's very funny. It's America's Funniest Home Videos, the black one.
I don't know if it's it's like it is. I've watched a couple episodes. Shout out Mailman was on there.
Shout out to Mailman.
And comedian Mailman. It's like an extension of, I think, Only in Detroit, really. But with more, this is what you got to start thinking about when you're creating shows. You're thinking of creating things that are more evergreen and static, meaning that like Only in Detroit is some moments that you capture that it's like, damn, that's right there. Almost like I shot you a couple things where it's like I already done got 7 or 8 of these things where it's on target for now. With that being said, I think that you executed one hell of a job with delivering what it is. And shout out to Rachel, producer Bay.
It's a producer Bay, Rachel.
Yeah.
Definitely put that technical team together for us. And shout out to Sensei Terry, who shot the project, Don, the edit guide, our editor. It just really was a lot of Detroit talent in there. And we have so much talent here. Detroit is like underground Hollywood right now. We definitely next up. And I had to throw my hat in that ring. First off, like you said, it's an extension of what I'm already doing with Only in Detroit. Because we always end every segment with an Only in Detroit.
Only in Detroit,
clip. Of course, we had to bring it back. And I just wanted it to be funny. I wanted it to be, we're all looking at internet clips, right? We all sitting there kicking it with our homies. Sometimes when you sending those memes out, you really wish your homegirl or homeboy was right there with you so y'all could be like, this dummy, or look at this. So we were able to bring that to you on the screen with the Only in My Hood. I'm very proud of it. It looks great. My stylist, I know you a man, you ain't think about that, but hilarious. I was snapping on the looks, okay?
Yeah, it was fun.
I was snapping on the looks.
Did you have like did your stylist set up like different connections with wardrobe? Did you get to keep your gear? How did that work?
My stylist, shout out to Kanika Gilchrist. She styled me for that show. She styles me for so much. She styled me for TEDx Detroit. She styles me for a lot. And what we do is I buy the stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
that was season 1. So let's let that be known. So if you are a fashion designer and you have a look that's set up for T.Barb and you want to get your gear out here, that's just really how it's done.
T.Barb is ready to wear your stuff, look fabulous. You know,
wait, it gotta look good though. It gotta look good.
Detroit is all about the fashion. So that was another thing in the show. I wanted to showcase how we always come through with the looks and the D. And people don't want to give us credit all the time, but we are the fashion innovators. A lot of people copy our looks. We wear things and you'll see them on a Paris runway for real. They'll say it's gaudy and look how, and then here we come. Everybody's wearing that style. Now everybody wearing minks. Now everybody buffed up. You know what I mean? That was Detroit, the Cardis, the looks. So I wanted to kind of bring that. And next season, somebody want to style me. we stepping it up. We going with the minks. We going with the buffs. And I'm also working on a movie script right now. So I'll be finishing my first comedy script. And we'll be working on that. And The Stranger in Our House, which is a hit series on Tubi. I actually just got cast in season 2 of that.
Okay.
So I have a small recurring role in that. Shout out to my homegirl, Renika. Make sure y'all go watch that, The Stranger in Our House. So I'm just I'm in my acting TV bag, okay?
There we go.
I'm trying to be in the bag.
Hey, stay in the bag. Stay in that lane. You also, even though I'm still sitting on like, just the turnaround stuff.
I got some books out. People don't even know about that. I got The Faith Over Fear, The Tales of a Retired Hoodbat. It was I'm doing everything I can on my end.
Yeah. And with it also, just that arc of like where you come with the what you bring to the stage and that presence. I like the comedy album. I really like your comedy. I think I like the arc of your comedy that's a little bit darker, but maybe I just like dark comedy altogether. You know what I'm saying? So just shout out to Coco. When you were just at High Society, it was,
Well, first off, High Society, shout out to Coco. We actually feature her in episode 1 of Only in My Hood. So everybody
at the end, the Def Jam, yep.
Coco pulled the liquor bottle out her titty. So we show that in episode 1. We pay homage to her. Episode 1 actually is an all ladies cast. So I'm a woman. It was an all female team.
Melanie Hearn was in effect.
Yeah. And we wanted to start with that. We're honoring Coco, but did High Society with Coco. Shout out to the queen.
And Howie.
and Howie.
Howie
was just on one because
yeah.
as a comedian, you know, I've been in grieving. Shout out to my brother Coast Wild. I recently lost my brother, my baby brother.
Mhm.
And we lost my baby sister 2 years ago. So I never thought I would be one of the people that know what it's like to lose my mother, my father, a brother, and a sister.
Yeah.
And I know that now. And so that was my first time coming on the stage since. And people don't understand that comedians and creatives, that's what keeps us going. When we're down, being able to create, being able to come out. So sometimes we give our best performances when we really down.
Oh, you were I mean, you were in rare form because I was dying. I mean, that was like one of those shows where I want to say this just about Detroit talent, but especially comedy. You know how much I love it. Even Howie was in rare form. Like I had to, yeah.
Detroit. And a lot of people, and not cutting you off, but a lot of people knocking it, they don't understand. Like, and that's why when people, comedy is subjective, so everybody's not gonna like everything. But I know I'm one of the best stand-up comedians in the country, and I mean that when I say that. That's not knocking anybody else. There are funny people across the country, but T.Barb is one of the best. I said it right now, and I'm gonna keep saying it. I am one of the best stand-up comedians as far as on the stage, flat out, period, point blank. And so we're tired of in Detroit being back behind because they feel like we're not at the Fox. No, I'm not at the Fox yet. No, I'm not at Little Caesars Arena yet. But when I get there, you watch how I blow the roof off of it.
Oh,
because
you
if
was
it's
killing.
20 or 30 people and they dying like that, I can only imagine what it's like with 2,000. I don't care what nobody say. I'm out here to let them know that first off, Detroit has some of the funniest, and T.Barb herself is one of the funniest stand-up comedians in the country, hands down. I'll go pound for pound with anybody else.
Yeah, definitely. The crowd work, yeah, that was a classic night. Just, you know, where Coco kind of just let y'all run between you and Howie. I mean, it's like I had to wake up the next day because the DJ was like prompting songs for Howie with Ready for the World.
That was funny. And that's another thing too, the improv.
Stupid.
Like, I write a set and I have a lot of different comedy sets, almost to the point where I feel like going into writing for others because sometimes I have so much material. Right now, I'm in a point in my career where I'm trying to craft the best of what I feel that I've derived so far. But we are so good at improv that sometimes you don't even get to get into your material. And that's the best part about being from Detroit. Like, you can see something funny on the fly and just react to it. And
yeah, your crowd work that night was just on point and on beat. It was like two couples in there and you were just in the bag with it. And that was just another one of those nights where it's like you could capture it and it's a great experience. I strongly I don't even know what I can say about it, but my favorite live experience is live comedy in more of an intimate setting because if you capture that right, it's nothing like it because it just feels more.
It's so organic and comedy is so disrespectful. Coco says this all the time. Comedy is the most disrespected art form in that you could go, somebody could be pumping my gas and they could be trying to convince me how they're just as funny as me without even seeing me, without even knowing anything. Not understanding that this has been 8 years of strong work. And when I say work, first off, I'm a funny person, period. Like just talking and kicking it. But I'm talking about stand-up is different. You could be funny all day in your living room with your mom and them. You could be the funniest cousin or the most goofy. But to craft a stand-up comedy set and entertain people live, ain't no redo. Right now, this is live. And if you eat it live in front of everybody. You still have to climb yourself out that hole. And that's the type of pressure that most people can't handle.
No, not at all. And then also, as you talk about coming out of just that experience of grief at that point, rest in peace, Coast. Coast, another person kind of connected and extended through the Detroit is Different family, through the Unicorns Are Real. And so much of what they did here. And that's
Really
where like
was an
when we
innovator here. He really was.
when I remember when we first met and you was like, nah, that's my brother. I was like, yo, brother, or like, nah, you was like, no, like we grew up together, my brother.
Like blood, like
yeah.
brother.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was running away from him if he was sick. Like,
Oh,
okay,
no, like, my
same
brother,
house.
like, when they brought him home from the hospital, I was there. I
Mhm.
was there. I was, like, one of the first
Yeah.
people he met, and I was the last person to identify him too, so it's
Mm.
just funny how life works that way.
Yeah, and, very, as you say, very creative, so many things, music, modeling, visual art,
It really runs in our family. Our dad was extremely funny, and our dad was extremely creative. The same with my son. If you notice, my son's really into music. He's rapping. He's making beats. It's just a creative gene that kind of flows in our family. And that's when I found out my great grandparents were vaudeville comedians that discovered
mhm.
Moms Mabley. Their names
Yeah.
were Butterbeans and Susie. We didn't know that. And that's one thing in the Black family, sometimes we don't always share our history because we don't think much of it. And that's our family members need to know that so we know where all this creativity comes from. So my brother was very creative. We used to rap. A lot of people don't know. We did a lot of I'm a big freestyle artist. So when I was in college, I thought I was gonna be a rapper, baby. I was
You
really
was in New Orleans,
was in
you
New
was
Orleans in the
yeah,
projects.
you
Shout
was
out to the
thinking,
Ninth Ward, Melfa. I mean, I was in the
yeah.
projects, Uptown projects. We were in the not the Saint Bernard. The Saint Bernard project was down the street from my college. I was in the Callio projects,
Mhm.
rapping with my coworker.
Hilarious.
And when I would come home, me and my brother would rap. We would have all
Mhm.
these rap battles, and we would just be rapping. And he actually, a lot of people don't know, he lived with me. He moved with me when he was 15, and he stayed there till he was 20. And so yeah, rest in peace to my brother. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's super unfortunate. It's been
Mhm.
very hard on me. But one thing about being a soldier is that you know one thing about being the one that's left, that means you're the person that's supposed to carry the legacy. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
fold, the legacy won't go anywhere. So you just gotta stay.
And you definitely carrying that on, and even with Reggie, and Reggie working with Detroit is different. Just seeing that creativity and what sparks and how fast
I
he
can't
picks
believe I
up on
got a
things.
grown up son. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yep.
How old was I when I had him? 9? Like who
Mhm.
should be pregnant at 9?
Hey, he's yo, he and his team have added so much more to, like, even where I'm thinking about what happens with Detroit is different and pacing and everything like that. So it's been extremely beneficial, that connection. And that kinda happened from with us hosting, shout out to Jennifer with All Things
Yeah, shout
Detroit.
out to Jennifer Crossford. All things Detroit,
Yep.
Eastern Market.
And you had him
We had
there.
Shree Tanadar say what up though. Should
Hilarious.
replay that because she did you see how Shree was like, "What up, though? What up?" It was like once I said he
That's
could say
gonna
what
be
up, though, he just went crazy. What up, though?
that may be on season 2 of Only in My
He
Hood.
almost shook his toupee off. It was almost on the ground.
That may be on season 2.
It's gonna be on season 2 of Only in My Hood. Shree Tanadar. What up, though? I'm tired.
So, yeah, and that was just a cool day, and then from that day, just so many other things where it's like, "Okay, we can
I've
keep
always
rolling."
had my son involved in
Mhm.
what I'm doing. I've always
Yeah.
had him, whether it's holding the camera or taking a picture or just coming to assist me, or even when I had the hot dog cart, which I still have the hot dog cart, but when I was downtown selling hot dogs every day for for years, my son was raised on that cart. So he been selling popcorn, donuts on Thanksgiving morning. We've been really hustling
Hustling.
as a family. So I incorporate that with him now, and it's interesting to see like how he's playing the bass and the guitar and the
Mhm.
piano, and he's played the flute, and he's making beats, and he can rap, and he can sing, and he's in college. It's just like a mirror a mirror of myself. So
Yeah.
your kids are really watching what you're doing. You really set the example for them.
Most definitely, and just the way that it makes so much sense, like, one of the days what bothers so many other people, and that's where it's like, I gotta work with him more, because he was it was a day where somebody else was like, usually I'm still trying to figure out how this stuff stays together and how it works with Detroit is different. So one of the people working with me was like, "Man, we always doing different stuff." And Reggie was like, "That's what I love about Detroit is different because you don't know what you're gonna be doing any day." But he was more prepared just from that
Been
same arc.
stressing them out since he was little. It's like
Yes, basically, yes. So now I'm starting to stress him out. Yeah.
I been
Yes.
putting him in adult situations because I
Yes.
think that So me being raised by dope fiends and stuff like that, I think that a lot of people that have been raised the way that I've been raised, they want to shield their kids from it. Like, I don't want my kids to grow up in this. But it was a lot of lessons I learned in being raised by dope fiends. Like, I learned how to grocery shop for myself, how to hustle, how to make money, how to make something out of nothing. When we didn't have food, I learned how to put stuff together that most people wouldn't put together to make a good meal. So I wanted my son, even though I didn't want it to be where
Through
I
the
was a
dope.
dope fiend, and him having to worry about who's in the house. I still wanted him to have the basic knowledge of some of that maturity. I had a lot of maturity at a young age, and that was a result of being raised by dope fiends and being raised on Joy Road and doing all the adult things I did early. So I didn't want him to have that stress and that pressure, but I still wanted him to learn the same lessons that I learned. So it was a lot. Like, it would be me and him working, and I would tell him, like, look, I'm depending on you today. And I know that might be a lot for some people with their kids, but it is what it is. And I'm gonna need you to do this. You're gonna have to do this. I'm gonna need you to toughen up and do a little more.
And even with where he stands now, the thought process for him is like, I'm gonna learn everything I can learn from you, Kari. So then once it all times out right, I'm gonna be able to step up and be the super manager that my mom needs for everything in her career. And I was like, that's a dope ass
Gonna be
plan.
my manager.
Yeah. Yep. And he probably gonna do
Be
it.
my manager.
Hey, at this
Who
point,
do you think he gonna be it?
at this point, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's taking long enough. Shit, come on, say nah.
I wouldn't
Oh no,
doubt
my
it.
son knows that there's gonna be. I'm almost like, in a lot of ethnicities, the kids don't necessarily have a choice. Of course, I'm giving my son a choice, but he also knows that you still have to uphold the family business. So if you choose to do this, I need you to learn this, because one day I'm going to need you to take over this. We're not going to leave our family dynasty when I die. It's going to keep going.
And I also, this is the other advantage, because it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. So it's like Deion Sanders and his son. Shador wants to play football. It's different if you're forcing a child to do something they don't want to do. Reggie really has a passion for this stuff.
Yeah.
So if it'd be so different, because I think your take on it would be so different if it just seemed like nothing to do with it at all.
Like, if my son just really wanted to be a ballerina and I was trying to push him to be in entertainment, that would be different. Because now he's in school for marketing, for business. So let's say he wants to go into corporate America, that's fine. But you still going to have the knowledge and how to manage this. Maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you hire a CEO to do it. But we're not going to lose. You know what I mean? We're going to hold on to whatever we can in this family, because people don't understand, when our kids are starting over from scratch, they're losing all of the building blocks that we put down.
I think more than the building blocks, it's how we're working together. It's the relationships. So, it's so many doors that will naturally open, and I'm sure they already have the opportunities he had just because T.Barb is his mom, and that's great. It's kind of like the whole discussion of LeBron James and Bronny James.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, if you can get your son in the NBA, you're going to get your son in the NBA.
It's nepotism. And what happens is they talk us out of nepotism because they know how much it benefits us. But that's what the world has ran off forever.
And the only time it's wrong is when the person isn't skilled or talented. Now, and if they have the skill and the talent, if not better than, is excellent. If they're inept, that's a different story.
It's still something that you can do within the brand, even if you don't run the brand.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. It's still something you can do, whether that's you choose to do the social media or you choose to, that's like Only in My Hood. My son is not a camera person, but he worked as a production assistant because that's what he could do. He know how to go get some coffee, go run and do this, open the door, all of those things. That's a production assistant on a set.
Yeah, I can tell you. I can tell you by
calling him since he was 4 to turn the damn light switch off. So he should be able to assist on this production.
Hilarious. I can tell you by season 2, with all the stuff he doing with Detroit is different. He gonna be like, yo, I think we can run all of that stuff with the editing and the cameras, because it's happening, So that's where, like I say, seeing the functionality is so big. And even the project we're working on that would have happened, a George Floyd moment for Martin Luther King Day, and really just having that chance of getting all of the crew, him and his homies, on camera so that they can intimately look at editing differently. As I'm sure this project has completely changed some of the ways you look at the arc of the production. Being an executive producer is more than just paying for everything.
Yes,
Though that's
yes.
a big paying for everything is a big elephant in the room. But along with paying for everything, you're thinking more scheduling. You're starting to pay attention to so much more of the production. It's like, okay, what was captured, how it was captured, the sound, the light, the just certain nuances where it's like, where do we go with this? Where do we go with that? Because I'm still sitting on some great footage from you guys, you, Coco, Mike Leary, and Josh
Oh,
from Scared of
yeah,
Detroit.
from
Yeah.
Scared Detroit. See, when you are doing the executive producer role, it is a lot more than just paying for it because first off, it's your money, so you really are babysitting it. But it even goes down to a marketing, and that's where we are right now. Right now, I'm in my marketing promo.
Yeah.
Blitz will be hitting some of the news stations. A lot of my content will be around the show only in my hood, streaming on Tubi. Go watch it now. So
Mhm.
you are thinking about that, and being a first time EP, it is a lot because you're looking at what the production is doing, what the producers are doing, like you said, the camera work, the sound, the clarity, the specs,
Mhm.
the rendering.
All of
It's
this.
it's a lot of things
Yeah.
that go into a production.
Yeah, and all of this, and hence I'm impressing upon them as they're learning.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you all, everybody doing editing 101 with stuff like this, when you get multiple cameras and why the cameras matter. Like so many times people be like, why can't we just shoot it with one? Because you start understanding that our eye, especially because
Yeah.
of these devices, I mean,
You
we
can
probably
take a
have like a
picture.
4-second attention span.
We
So
have
it's
a
like
4-second attention span.
by going from camera to camera to camera to camera, if I can show, T-Barb's center, T-Barb right, T-Barb left, it's like it's re-triggering your mind to pay attention again. So now those extra angles can add a little bit
It's
different.
getting worse and worse because I was just watching the Boss Man D-Lo video. Damn, it was interesting.
Oh yeah, I
Every
mean,
second, bow, bow, and
but that's where it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
another
hey,
shot.
he teaching you finesse.
Yeah, he teaching me finesse.
Exactly. So with that whole concept, it's like it's bouncing over. And that's the same concept because it's so funny you brought that up because what was it, New Year's Eve? Shout out Dewan and them. They was like, yo, they just played the loop of his videos and he's sitting down
Yeah.
talking to himself, and you start seeing, okay, what did they do in production? How did they do that? How did they stage this? How did they work this out? And having a vision and how you tell that story really starts coming together and knowing what that is, hence the storyboard of when, what, how, why. And can magic happen on the fly sometimes? Most definitely. But chances are, if you plan better,
It's gonna be
you'll do
better if
better.
you plan, and I think that
Mhm.
that's where a lot of people, especially in the upcoming generations and more, the patience is lacking,
Yeah.
and the planning is not there. People want it now. They don't understand that the day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit. You have to let it grow. You have to let it develop. And a lot of times, if you get things really quick, they leave quickly. So sometimes, even in my career, I sit and I think, why is this taking so long? Or I feel like I have this talent. I should be here. I should be on Good Morning America tomorrow. But if I got that opportunity, maybe I wasn't ready for it, or I got the opportunity too fast, so I wasn't able to keep it and hold on to it. Think about how many people, I use this as an example all the time. I remember that song, This Is Why I'm Hot. This is why I'm hot. That was my shit. This is why I'm this.
Yeah, Mims.
Where's he at right now?
I don't know what Mims is
Nobody
doing.
know where he at. You ain't heard the song. The song was hot.
Mhm.
But was he really prepared to take a hold of that moment and stay in that position? Or did he, and I'm not saying in this case because
No,
in
but no, I would say just from especially the music arc and so much that I did in music, and it's so funny because Reggie and all of them are asking me about my takes on music, and I have my opinion, but that's my opinion. And I think a lot of this production and entertainment space, you need it's the team. My biggest opportunity was with Universal Music Group, and it was a lot of other rappers at the time that were offered like a press and distribution deal, like white label press and distribution. I don't know if people remember a rapper Ricochet from Detroit. And he had a pretty big hit, but he had a team. And everybody else at this meeting had, like, when I say a team, meaning like they walked in this meeting with like 12 other people. I'm walking in by myself. My crew was just rappers, and we broke up over like, goofy shit that rappers break up over. But I'm starting to see like, okay, the rest of these rappers have people that don't just rap. They have people that first off have other skill sets that want to be a part of this, not just like somebody with dope money that's putting money up. You know what I'm saying? It's like
doesn't really
it's
understand.
if you have, and I think that this is equivalent really across the board, even when I think of the success that you've developed and connected to, because it becomes so much about these relationships that we have. So it's not going to be an opportunity where I think to myself, like, you're very talented. And when I think opportunity, I'm gonna think T.Barb off that relationship first. I'm gonna think Coco from the relationship first. Now, if I meet somebody new,
more important than the actual talent. And this is the part that, because a lot of people don't know, I'm an MBA as well. So I have a master's in business administration. And I've used that in my career.
Yeah.
And the relationship, you're gonna watch somebody walk in with a better relationship than you and get what you feel you should have had with less talent and less qualifications than you.
But more so than the relationship, it's like the built trust. So what I was just gonna say also along the time about waiting, as you wait, if you running in a pack of the right pack, then as you level up, they level up. So like what producer Bay is doing now, 5 years from now, producer Bay gonna stay active with what she's doing.
For sure.
What I'm doing now, I'm gonna stay active with what I'm doing. So it's like as you level, your whole team levels, which creates more opportunities that you never thought of. And hence, this is where the onus kind of comes on us by being in the game for long enough. Hence, that's what Reggie and them are giving me. You got to reach back and kind of connect with a younger generation, because as they get a little bit older, that's how you still stay in the mix with a newer generation. But if you're not, you're like kind of like, I look at it like it's kind of like graduation classes or something.
Right.
So like your graduation class should exceed at your same level. And if you're running with the people that are most serious about this craft, then you're going to know those people that are serious about the craft. If you're running a lot of people that's on some bullshit or that's bitter about stuff, that's depressed about stuff, that don't want to get active, then guess what's going to happen? The opportunities connected to them, they're going to be in that space. If you're running around the people that are active and staying engaged through the bullshit, that's going to be the person that more than likely 5, 6, 7 years from now, when they're thinking of, okay, we need to plug somebody in, as you talk about sometimes on sight unseen.
Right.
They're going to get those calls.
No, they're going to get those calls. I mean, I agree. I think that first off, one of the biggest things that we can do is to make sure that we're reaching behind and staying attuned to what's ahead as well.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I don't mean like reaching behind and grabbing people that's not coming, but like you said, the new generation, that's how you stay up on the new trends, what's going on. The world is changing. You have to be a part of that change if you're going to be in this industry, because the industry is ever changing.
Yeah.
And then I do agree with you with the team. Like right now, I'm still in that team building phase, and I feel like a team will come to you. That's just my take on it. You build a team and you meet these people, and as you stated, I think one of the most important things is that people don't cultivate relationships anymore. They want instant gratification from that person. I've had people that I've been cool with 5, 6 years, and they'll call me in the 6th year and say, and it might be huge, hey, we got this for you. I'm not really looking for you to give me anything. If we're cultivating this, that's based on the motivation you give me. And I'll tell you this, especially growing up in the hood and growing up around a certain type of person. Because I was laughing, shout out to my homegirl Shelly T, who was actually in episode 4 of Only in My Hood on Tubi, right? My new show. I was talking to her and I was telling her how when I quit smoking cigarettes. And she said, oh my God, you look like the type of person that would say ew if somebody was smoking. Now I probably would, but I smoked cigarettes from the time I was 13 until I quit 9 years ago. I started smoking cigarettes at 13. Everybody around me smoked cigarettes. Everybody around me did certain things. So I picked up the habit. And I'm only saying that to say, show me the 5 people you're around the most, and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
So they're going to motivate you. Y'all going to share resources. Even if y'all not in the same field, y'all going to feed off each other with the motivation, because the harder I see you going, the harder I want to.
I mean, it naturally that. And also, I want to say that The relationships, like, can you hit a lick that's transactional? Definitely. And I've done a lot of great business with people where it's a good one-off, but it's nothing like you and Renika. Like, you all are still growing the relationship, but it's not like if you'd have went in, like, do I think if you would have led with, let's do something now, do I think that it's a strong possibility y'all to did something? Most definitely. But do I think that you all would be where you're at to do the projects that y'all doing now? No.
It's so funny how how we got cool on a runway doing an interview. And what's so crazy is the interview I did with her, the company I was with kept the interview. We never seen the interview. She wanted to see it. And I mean, it was really a natural progression, but it also was a natural progression that was also fueled by me being able to congratulate her and say, man, I love what you're doing. It's motivating me what you're doing. Oh, I love what you're doing. Okay, well, let's collab on this. Let's do the live podcast with Kari. Okay, this is a new network because your network should be introducing you to people that can help you do what you need to do. And I've been thankful and very privileged enough. That's just like you and I work. It's a lot of people that I've met through you that have been very key people to what I'm doing now. Even I think about over at Alkiba Line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Starting with meeting people at comedy shows and now over there running, doing mentoring over there. All of those relationships started somewhere else and we realized, oh, well, I help the community. Okay. Now I have a 501c3 because I had a friend who that's what they do for a living and I was able to pay them. They said
to set it up. We can do this. And I mean, that's and it sometimes starts with, and that takes patience. It starts with, instead of thinking always what I can get out of something, sometimes you just got to sit in the moment and just be present, as opposed to always thinking, because if you run and it's like, I'm always trying to get something, you'll get opportunity, but you're going to work so much harder than the person that kind of just lets stuff land right in their lap. Like, you can just watch certain things and certain people just land in their lap and you be like, yep, that makes sense. I mean, that one time, my kid's sister, Mashar, shout out Mashar, her birthday was just the other day, when they wanted something.
And they did me for a Zoom.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, this is what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, hey, they want to do something virtual, comedian, here you go. And I mean, it's stuff like that.
It was a bag. It was a connection. They have been supporting me. I got to meet a whole new group of people that enjoyed what I did. So that's what you want out of any relationship. And when we say relationship, that don't mean man or woman. That's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me. I know, well, I ain't gonna say it's hard because I'm taking that stuff out of my vocabulary 2025. I know that I'm a little more picky when it comes to choosing a mate because that's what I need. Like, we need to be building this together and it needs to be a person who has something of value for me. And it doesn't always have to be money. The value really could be in the relationships, really could be in the knowledge that I obtain or the motivation that I receive and being around these people. So I had to learn that. And that's the only way I was able to thrive from where I came from. You know what I mean? Like, it's real retired hood rat around here. Like, real. And I'm growing up with all dolphins. I thought everybody was my auntie and my uncle, the whole neighborhood.
Hey, that's how it be. That's how it be.
Dolphins kids get a whole bunch of aunties and uncles.
Yeah, it's real. It's real, and I think that's so cool. So definitely let everybody know. Only in my hood. Check it out on Tubi. I'm into the season. I definitely look forward to like what's gonna grow with it. It's so cool that you pouring back into more of those connections, of those relationships that come together and growing that team.
I mean, just shout out to everybody. Kiana Sade. I mean, just worked on the project. Like I said, Sensei Terry, producer Bay, my co-host Bunny, the real Bunny May, is streaming now on Tubi right now. Season 1, only in my hood. I need everybody to make sure they go support that because it is an amazing project. And just look forward to seeing me in The Stranger in Our House season 2. And I have some other projects that will be coming up this year. We'll be shooting. Also, the comedy album. You can always T.Barb live at the Independent. But I need everybody to go run it up. Play it while you in the bathroom. You on the toilet taking a boo-boo. It's okay. It could be in the background on the TV. Your family could be laughing, okay? I know you're used to, we ain't showing no coochies and oochies on this one, but it is a good show.
Hilarious.
It's funny. We're looking at viral clips. We're doing interviews with some of your favorite or your new favorite entertainment entertainers, and I need you to go watch it. Only in My Hood, season 1 on Tubi.
Definitely. Peace.
Detroit is Different is where you get information, artistry, history, music, and even comedy. Detroit is Different, a home for the culture of Detroit. Visit online at DetroitisDifferent.com today.